French master patissier Eric Lanlard has changed the face of British patisserie, earning himself a reputation for not only awe-inspiring cakes, but for a clientele that boasts the likes of Madonna, Elton John, and the Beckhams.
One of my competitors was on television the other day and just said, "We do cake for celebrities." And I said, "We do cake for everybody, including celebrities."
For the first time, he's going to share his tricks of the trade. This isn't just about puddings, it's about Glamour Puds. Days of your life. Everybody wants the day to be perfect, down to the very last detail. After the dress, the cake is arguably the most important aspect of the whole day. Top patissier Eric Lanlard has made wedding cakes for some of the most famous people in the world. Now it's your turn. Coming up, it will be the pièce de résistance of any wedding, Eric's signature cake, the Tower of Desserts. Preparation begins in earnest for the most important date in the calendar, the London Wedding Show. The kitchen gets close to meltdown.
Don't let the standard slip just because you're busy.
And if classic and understated is the theme for your big day, then this stylish iced fruit cake is the one for you.
If your whole idea of a wedding cake is a rich fruit cake with a thick layer of royal icing, you came to the wrong man. My signature wedding cake is called the Tower of Dessert, a selection of 8 little individual desserts for everybody to share, to swap, and going to be used as the pudding at the reception. So we're going to make one of them, and it's a lemon cheesecake with amaretti biscuit. So the first step, I got some crushed amaretti biscuit here, work very well with the lemon, and some melted butter here, and I'm just going to mix them gently together. And the whole idea of the butter is really just to glue the pieces together. So that will do. And I'm using those set of mold, but if you can't get all of them, you can use just individual little mousse rings you can get from any good cook shop. And I'm lining them with some little piece of acetate, so it makes them much easier to remove. Most cake decorating shop or cook shop will sell them as well, so you can cut them out of a sheet. And we're just gonna spoon it inside. I'm just gonna press it with a small spoon just to do a proper base. More and more people are coming to us and asking for a wedding cake they could serve as a dessert. Because usually the cake is served at the end of the evening where you're too busy dancing or too drunk. So nobody appreciates the cake, So more and more people coming and just say, I'm going to spend all this money, but I want my guests to enjoy it. So that's going to have to go in the fridge to set before we build up the rest of the filling inside.
To make the filling, mix some cream cheese with whipped double cream. Zest 1 lemon, then add the lemon juice. Add caster sugar and mix it all together. Spoon the mixture into the molds. Add a dollop of lemon curd, some more of the cream cheese mixture, and smooth it down.
Right, so now we're going to decorate our little cheesecake. Now they are settled. So gently remove them by pushing them from underneath from the sets like this. And we're just going to remove the clear acetate. And to decorate them, I'm going to use some printed acetate band. You can get them usually in cake decorating shops or online. Most shops do sell them now. It's actually printed with colored cocoa butter. So it's all edible. It's a bit like the cheap tattoos kids use. So it's like a transfer. It will stick to the melted chocolate we're going to use on the top. So this is white chocolate is melted. It's not too hot, because if it's too hot, it's going to melt the pattern on the acetate. So you need to make sure you got the print facing you, so you can feel it with your fingers. And I'm just going to put a little bit of white chocolate and gently move the Okay, so I'm just going to lift a little cake here and gently pick the acetate. And the acetate is going to protect our little dessert as well. I mean, mostly for a wedding, people expect the cake to be on display for quite a long time, so that will protect from the heat or from the chocolate blossoming, with the different set of temperatures. So that's going to set very quickly, because our dessert is actually quite cold. And we're just going to decorate the top. And I got some chocolate little fans here, and just a decoration of fresh raspberries and a bit of icing sugar. Here we are. That's one of the dessert from the Tower of Dessert. And best to keep them in the fridge as long as possible and as close to the reception, so at least they are very well chilled and ready to be on display till the big reveal. So I'm just going to lift them back and put them in the fridge. Our lemon cheesecake is now finished, undecorated, and it's been chilled in the fridge. And the thing you can remember is you can do some variation based exactly on the same ideas, really, mostly about the decoration. For example, here we got a red berry mousse with a mixture of raspberry and blackcurrant together. Or another one for the chocolate lovers, dark chocolate with kirsch and amarena cherries, which are delicious Italian cherries. So now the final touch, or final dessert on our display. And this has to be the perfect wedding cake.
For details of this dish and all recipes featured in the series and exclusive content, check out the website details at the end of the show. Eric's up bright and early for some culinary flower power. He's come to New Covent Garden to get the freshest flowers for some decorations he's planning. The flowers are flown in from all over the world, and it really is the early bird that catches the worm.
Here we are. I love coming to this place. The market is buzzing. It's beautiful flowers everywhere. When you come to decorate your wedding cake, you've got plenty of different options. The more traditional one will be to use sugar flowers, but who wants to do that really? What do you do with it? You can't really eat them, or you're going to end up dusting them for the rest of your life. For me, the best way to do it is to use fresh flowers. Combine it with a very simple design, and you can match the same flowers you got on your wedding. So I'm going to show you two simple techniques, a little tip how to decorate your cake. Not very expensive and very simple and quick to do as well. The first one is I'm going to crystallize some petals. So I got some beautiful roses here. So I'm just going to get a couple of open heads of those. Now the best thing is to look for the best petals you could get. And here I got some egg whites. And I'm just dipping the edge of the petal in egg white. And after that, rolling it slightly and gently in some granulated sugar. And you can see it's all crystallized. And the thing to do is to leave it to dry for a few hours. And the good news is you can even eat them if you want to. I'm just going to leave them to dry for a few hours. Another of my tip, try to use roses who are actually scented. At least you will get the smell as well than the decoration and everything.
The sugar roses are left to dry, and now it's on to another classic design.
Right now I'm going to show you another technique with actually putting the fresh flowers on the cake. So they are Grand Prix roses. They are very popular, mostly in winter weddings. And they do, good contrast with a white cake. So I'm just cutting each flower quite short. And instead of just plonking them on a cake, I'm going to use this beautiful pin here with pearls. We actually match the piping decoration we got on a cake, and I'm just going to push it right to the center of the rose like this. And we're just going to place them on the cake. But I think that's enough really to be, you don't want to overdo it as well. At the end of the day, it's a cake, it's not a flower display, so I'll probably just leave it like that now. And I'm going to use the spare flowers just to scatter some fresh petals around the base of the cake. But you can imagine this cake in a perfect, winter setting, maybe like a big old castle with big fireplace, quite dark, perfect winter wedding. The colors look very classic, but at the same time, contemporary because of the fresh flowers, the pearls, and the pins, with a little pearl touch on it. So, it won't run out of fashion. It will still be a fashionable cake.
Next, a timeless classic, a white iced fruitcake with pearl detail. Plus, the heat is on as the kitchen gets ready for the busiest weekend of the year. Glamour Puds wedding continues after this.
I'm tongue-tied when you're around. I'm tongue-tied when you're around.
Everyone wants their wedding to be the most special day of their lives, and for that, it needs to be planned to perfection down to the very last detail. And a spectacular wedding cake is arguably one of the most important aspects of the whole day. Top patissier Lanlard has designed wedding cakes for some of the most famous people in the world, and now he's going to show you how it's done. So prepare to be inspired, because still to come on Glamour Puds, Eric shows you how to make your own classic champagne tiered wedding cake. First though, it's the day before the wedding show at London's Earl's Court, when florists, wedding dress and wedding cake designers compete for the attention of thousands of brides. Eric and his team are busy prepping wedding cakes for the display on his stand. There's a brand new member of the team to train. This is Louise from South Africa.
We are actually under quite a lot of pressure at the moment. We have 5 weddings, and on top of that we got the wedding show. And we are behind.
They're preparing Eric's signature dish, the Tower of Desserts, as well as a 50s-looking cake with edible mother of pearl decorated with shells. But these incredible results mean a lot of hard work and early starts.
When I came over here, I was starting at 1 o'clock in the morning every day, and I did that for 5 years, 1 a.m. So, waking up at 5:30 every day is nothing for me. No. It's almost like luxury.
Ivanka also has limited experience in the kitchen, and her English is a bit scratchy too.
So what's Eric like to work for?
She's great. He's great. Sorry, my.
Excuse me?
Sorry, Eric. Sorry. He's great. I love him. Very nice person.
3 more wedding cakes are ready to go, including a 30s retro cake and a specially commissioned floral design. In fact, there's no limit to what people will ask for.
That cake is actually designed from a lace from a wedding dress. So we do all this kind of beautiful stuff and everything. That's very me. But now look at this. Ta-da! It's actually a birthday cake for the dog. Chuff is a dog. That's not me really. Pink heart cake with a dog on it. But she's a very good customer. She orders a lot of cakes. So she's regulars and happy dog.
The customer is always right then, Eric.
Of course. Oh, it's all fun. Better go back to my cakes.
With thousands of brides ready to spend big bucks on their special day, this weekend is an important one.
You know, it would be some television tomorrow as well. They will be asking about celebrities because they're all completely obsessed about it. I always try to get out of the conversation, but I can't get away from it. One of my competitors was on television the other day and just said, "We do cake for celebrities." And I say, "We do cake for everybody, including celebrities." You know, I've done my list this morning with a thing there, and I'm going to tick them as I go along. Well, box here. Just use that table, you got the trolley there, you got the boxes.
Next time, we'll find out if the team's hard work pays off.
Someone stick with fat hands in a cake.
But for now, Eric takes time out to head home to make a classic iced fruit cake.
I couldn't do a show on wedding cake without showing you how to make a traditional wedding cakes. And actually, it's nothing wrong with them. If you keep this design simple, and maybe just highlight it a bit with fresh flowers. We're gonna do our one with fruit cake, so that will give you plenty of time to ice your cake. So the first step is to take our fruit cake here, and we're gonna put it on a board, but upside down. So like that, we get a nice flat surface to work on. Using a brush and some hot apricot jam, I'm just going to brush slightly the cake. That's going to be the kind of glue for our marzipan. And again, you don't have to use marzipan. If you don't like it, just ice it straight away with your soft icing. Just do it a bit thicker. So we're just going to roll it on a bed of icing sugar. And if you overworked it, it will get a bit sticky, but just try to do it in one go. So I'm just gonna lift it over, and now we're just gonna smooth it over like this. Okay, that's great. The sharp knife, just cut the extra on the base. And we're going to leave that to dry for 24 hours. So our marzipan is dry now, so that's going to give us a good base to put the icing on.
Roll the icing out until it is ½ centimetre thick.
Just to stick the icing, just before I lift it on it, I'm just going to brush it with very, very little water, like this. And I'm just going to lift the icing gently on our cake. And of course, you're going to have to repeat that whole operations for each tier, depending on how big you want your wedding cake to be. So same of the marzipan, just slide it down. You can buy ready colored icing. We usually come in the most awful bright colors. So it's probably better to color your own. That's what we do at the kitchen. Okay, we get many people who come and give us brides who give us swatch of a wedding dress, and we have to match the perfect color. You'll be surprised how many type of ivory or cream color you can get. Okay, so just smooth it to get, should be as smooth as baby's bottom. And sharp knife, cut. And again, if you have time, try to keep it to dry before stacking it for 24 hours. It will dry it a little bit, not completely, but it will dry it a little bit, so you make it easier to handle, and you won't have any crack as well.
To assemble the cake, first make some royal icing. Take icing sugar and add egg whites and mix them together. Add a small amount of water and keep mixing. Spoon the icing into a piping bag. To secure the tiers, measure doweling rod to the height of the cake and cut to length with a handsaw. Push the doweling rods into the center of the cake. Then spread some icing over the top. Place the next tier on top of that and repeat the process for the final two.
So the cake's been stacked all together, and let me show you how to do this design. We call it the champagne design. They're like edible pearls done with royal icing. It's one of our most popular ones, actually. So it's quite classic and timeless. So we're using two different types of nozzle. We've got a larger one to do the first 2 rows of pearls. I'm going to use a finer one just to do the top one. So There's no secret to this, you have to take your time. Most common phone call we got, emergency cake, because someone promised to decorate a wedding cake and suddenly realized they can't do it. Okay, and I'm doing the smaller, another set of smaller one between the first row, so there's just a bit less pressure on your piping bag. And I'm going to switch to the smaller nozzle. One big mistake people do, they put the icing in the fridge and it soaked all the humidities, because it is sugar after all, and it all melt. You have to sit outside somewhere cool and dry. And this is going to have to dry probably for 4 to 5 hours, or again overnight if you have time. So if you're not sure, that's why it's better to do a fruit cake. So at least fruit cake keep forever, so you don't have to get worried about the cake getting stale. And I'm going to show you now how to pearlize them. So I'm using edible pearl dust you get from cake decorating shop, and they come in different shades. So like the one we're using is natural, so you just paint over it, and you can see suddenly the pearls come alive. Here we have a very classic wedding cake, not so classic because our little pearls and the pearlized we're using. My top tip would be take your time, do it in advance, and practice.
For details of this cake and all recipes featured in the series and exclusive content, check out the website details at the end of the show. Next time, a white chocolate rose cake that's a real work of art. It's the moment of truth for Eric and the team as they head to the wedding show. Will all the hard work pay off? Plus, the perfect wedding cake if you're looking for the wow factor. A pink iced lemon cake with handmade sugar butterflies. Your guide to the best in wedding cakes continues next on Glamour Puds.